This is the video that I didn't record on Monday, so I'm going to go through the whole topic again and with explanations. We're going to cover the first part is section 1.5. We're going to do the homework problems. The first question was 6 minus 1 over 6x equals 16 over 3. Because there's an equal sign and an x, we have to solve for x. Since there's fractions and an equal sign, we first have to find the LCD. The denominators are 3 and 6. The smallest x value, the smallest denominator number that they both fit into is 6. But 6 does not fit in 3, but 3 fits in 6. So 6 is the LCD. So with that, we have to multiply the LCD to each term. To the first term, so we'll put that in parentheses, minus the LCD is 6. The second term is 1 over 6x equals the LCD in parentheses 16 over 3. The third step is reduce. In other words, here's we get rid of the fractions. 6 goes into 6 one time, 3 goes into 6 twice. So we have 6 times 6 equals 1 times 1x equals 2 times 16. Okay, now we have to get rid of the parentheses, so we multiply. 6 times 6 is 36. Minus 1 times 1 is 1 times x is simply x. 2 times 16 is 32. Now we have to solve for our variable. Get the x by itself, so we subtract 36 from both sides. So negative x equals, since 36 is bigger than 32, it's negative, so the answer is negative. Subtract 36 minus 32 is 4. Since we have a negative in front of the x, we just change all of the signs across the entire equation, both sides. So that becomes a positive x, and that becomes a positive 4, and that's our answer. So just change signs instead of dividing by -1, because it will be a problem eventually. Number 2, we have 6 times x plus 1 equals 3, 2 times 6x plus 4. Since there's no fractions, there's an equal sign in x's, we have to solve for x. Order of operations, we can't do anything inside the parentheses, so we get rid of the parentheses. How? By distributivity. 6 times x is 6x. Positive, positive is a positive. 6 times 1 is 6. Equals 3. This is a -2 in front of there, so negative times positive is a negative. 2 times 6 is 12, x. Negative times positive is negative. 2 times 4 is 8. So, after distributing, combine like terms. This is an always rule. Anytime you get rid of parentheses, combine like terms before doing anything else. So we have a 3 and a -8. 3 and 8's bigger, it's negative, so its answer is negative. 8 minus 3, we subtract because they're opposite signs. If they were the same signs, we'd keep the sign and add the numbers. So 8 minus 3 is 5, minus 12x. Now we're solving for x. we have x's on both sides. Remember, always move the smaller x to the larger x. Move the x's first. We have 6 and a negative 12. Negative 12 is smaller. So we have to add 12x to both sides. 6 plus 12 is 18. X plus 6 equals negative 5. There's the x, so we have to get rid of the 6. So we subtract 6. Remember, we subtract because there's a plus in front of the 6. We have to do the opposite. So those cancel. 18x, okay, they're both negative, so the answer is negative. 6 plus 5 is 11. Now to get the x by itself, there's no sign change because that's not a negative, so we just divide by 18. So our final answer is negative 11 over 18. That's what x equals. All right. Question number 3. It's a word problem. A triangle ABC where angle B is 3 times angle A. That little symbol means angle. So angle B is 3 times angle A, and angle C is 8 degrees less than 6 times angle A. Right? It also gives us a picture. Well, we're dealing with a triangle. It could be any type of triangle. We have, this is angle A, this one's angle B, and this one's angle C. The one thing we know for sure about triangles, because we're looking at angles, if we add all 3 sides together, all 3 angles together, angle A plus angle B plus angle C has to equal 180 degrees. So we know the formula. So there's our formula we'll have to use. But what does this thing tell us? We have one equation, 3 different letters. We have to try to get it down to one equation with only one letter. All right, so the first part of the sentence says angle B is, that's an equal sign, 3 times angle A. So it's 3 times angle A. So whatever the size of angle A is, 3 times that equals B. The next one, angle C is 8 degrees less than 6 times angle A. Now, whenever you deal with less than or the subtraction, it's always in reverse. It's backwards. What we have to do here is take 6 times angle A first, and then subtract the 8 degrees. This is 8 less than 6 times angle A. Yeah, we have angle A, we have angle B, angle C, but all of these all reference angle A. So let's plug them in there. Angle A is just angle A. Angle B is 3 times angle A. Angle C is 6 times angle A minus 8. all that has to equal 180. So combine like terms, angle A, angle A, angle A, so it's 6 plus 3 plus 1 is 10, is 10 angle A's minus 8 equals 180. So we have to solve for angle A. So once we find angle A, we can find the rest of the angles. So add 8 to both sides to get rid of that one. So we have 10 times angle A is equal to 188. To get the angle A by itself, we divide by 10. So angle A, whenever you divide by 10 or 100, it's just moving a decimal. The decimal's right here right now. When you divide by 10, move it over 1. If it was 100, you move it twice. If it's 1,000, you move it 3. But we only move it one decimal place. So angle A is 18.8 degrees. There's our first one. We know that. Now we take this value and plug it into angle B and C. Angle B is 3 times angle A. But angle A is 18.8. So angle B is 56.4 degrees. There's angle B. Angle C is 6 times angle A minus 8. So 6 times 18.8 minus 8. 6 times 18.8 is 112.8. Now here's what we can do. Since 6 is twice the size of 3, this amount is going to be twice that amount. So 56.4 times 2, that's 8, that's a 2, and that becomes an 11. So angle C is, so we have to subtract it now. Angle C is equal to 112 minus 1.8 minus 8 equals 104.8 degrees. That's angle C. And the way we check it is if we take angle A plus angle B plus angle C, all of those should equal 180. So 18.8, 56.4, 104.8. 8 plus 8 is 16, plus 4 is 20, carry the 2. 6 plus 4 is 10, 8 plus 2 is 10, so that's 10%, that's 20, so it's a 0, carry the 2. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, so it equals 180, so check. Now, earlier we had to figure out, okay, what do we know about internal angles of a triangle? Well, let's figure it out. We know a square or a rectangle, doesn't matter, has 90-degree angles, all 4 sides. So 90 times 4 is 360. If we cut it in half, half of 360 is 180. So there's a 180 on this side, 180 on that side. All right. Let's look at the next one, number 3. Or number 4, was it? No, next one. It's another word problem. Okay, it says a truck enters a highway at 60 miles per hour. A car enters the same highway at 69 miles per hour. They're going the same direction. From when the car entered the highway, when will they be equal? Or when will the car pass the truck? So there's the question. Okay. Well, let's see what we have here. We have cars and trucks. Those are moving things. Anytime you have movement, you use this formula. Distance equals rate or speed times time. So let's learn how to start making tables and charts. Makes it much easier for us to solve these things. It keeps everything lined up. Okay, here we'll call these the vehicles. We have a truck and a car. We'll call this the totals. We have to represent all of those variables. We have to have 3 more columns. The rate, the time, the distance. So it's a moving problem, the distance goes last because rate times time equals distance. So, what's the speed of the truck? 60. The car is going 69 miles an hour. The time the car entered. Remember, oops, I forgot to put something here. Oh, it should be 6 minutes later. A car enters the highway at 69 miles an hour. So this is important because they both can't enter this highway at the same time. So the truck enters first, 6 minutes later, a car enters. So the car enters at T, whatever time that is, but from that time, the truck has already been moving for 6 minutes. So whenever the car gets in there, the truck's 6 minutes ahead. Now we have the distance of the truck and the distance of the car. What we need to know is when will they be equal? Because at that point, that's when one passes the other. All right, so you have the distance of the truck has to equal distance of the car. the formula, DRT. So it's the rate of the truck and time of the truck equals the rate of the car, time of the car. Now we use this chart. Let's figure it out. The rate of the truck is 60. The time is 6, t plus 6. The car is 69. The time is t. Solve for t. Because when is looking at what time? We're solving for t. Get rid of the parentheses, so we have 60t. 6 times 6 is 36 with a 0 behind it. Equals 69t. Get the t's over to one side, the smaller to the larger, so I subtract 60t from both sides. 360 equals 69 minus 60 is 9t. Divide both sides by 9. So t equals 9 goes into 36 4 times with a 0 behind it. So the car will pass the truck in 40 minutes, which takes about that. I mean, it's only traveling 9 miles an hour faster. All right. Number 5. Another word problem. The perimeter of a rectangular field is 360 yards. The length of the field is 60 yards longer than the width. What are the dimensions of the field? Again, this is our question. We're looking for the dimensions, which means we have to know what the length equals and what the width equals. So let's begin. Let's draw a picture. Anywhere in this paragraph, tell us what we're dealing with. The perimeter rectangular field. That helps us a lot because it'll help us find a formula. Also in the first sentence, it says the perimeter of a rectangular field is 360 yards. Perimeter, we have a length, width. The perimeter is if you add all 4 of these up. You have length plus width. So the perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. That's the formula we have to deal with. We're dealing with perimeter. Okay, it says the perimeter is 360 yards. So 360 yards equals 2L plus 2W. So now we have one equation and 2 variables. We have to get one letter only. That's where the second sentence comes in. The length is 60 yards longer than the width. So the length is 60 yards, whatever the width is, it's 60 yards longer. Okay, so we know now we have that formula. So anywhere we see an L, we put that formula. 360, here's an L, so it's W plus 60. So we have one equation and only one letter. So let's begin. Distribute to get rid of the parentheses. So we got 2W. 2 times 6 is 12 with a 0 behind it. Plus 2W. Get rid of parentheses, so combine like terms. 360, 2W is 4W. Plus 120. We're solving for W, so we have to get rid of the 120. Those cancel. Zero minus 0 is 0. 6 minus 2 is 4. 3 minus 1 is 2. Divide both sides by 4. So the width is 4 goes into 24 6 times with a 0 behind it. Yeah, 4 goes into 24 6 times with a 0 behind it. So we know the width is 60 yards. And with this, we can find the length by just plugging it in. The length is W60. 60 plus 60 is 120 yards. And you can always check it. Remember, the formula was adding all those, so it's 2L plus 2W. What we're saying is 360 equals 2L plus 2W. This is checking it. So we have 360 equals 2L is 120 plus 2 with the 60. 2 times 12 is 24 with a 0 behind it. Plus 2 times 6 is 12 with a 0. 240 plus 120 is 360. So it works. All right, so that's a motion problem. That's a perimeter problem. Anytime you have dimensions of things, you look usually at perimeter or area or volume. But in this case, it was perimeter. Question 6. Katie invested $7,000, part at 2% simple interest, and part at 3% simple interest. At the end of 1 year, these investments earned $185 in interest. All right, so we have $7,000 at 2% and 3%. We got an interest of $185. This is obviously an interest formula problem. The interest formula is interest equals the principal rate times time. Okay, the principal is amount used. The rate is a percent converted to decimals. And time is always in years. So if you're talking about month per month, that's 1/12 of a year. Or every 4 months, that's 1/3 of a year. So let's see. So now we have our formula here. Let's create our little box to keep everything lined up. One, two, three, four. We need to have one, two, three, four. So we have the principal, the rate, the time, and the interest. We do, remember last time we had car and truck, but since we're dealing with the interest rates, that's what it's going to tell us. It's going to be here. That's the difference. So we have at 2% and 3% interest rates. Remember, we have to convert those to decimals. So 2% is the same thing as 2 over 100, which is 0.02. 0.02. This one is 0.03. The time was 1 year. Now, here's the first problem. How much do we invest in each? So let's say in the 2% one, we invested X number of dollars. It could be any amount. Then how much would we invest in 3? If we invested X amount in 2, so 7,000 minus X would be what's left over. So if we used $1,000 here, then we have 7 minus 1,000 is 6,000, so we have 6,000 here. So that's how you do those if you don't have a specific amount just yet. So we multiply these together, we get the interest. So we have X times 0.02 times 1, 7,000 minus X times 0.03 times 1. Only thing we know for sure now is if we added these two, the interest, we had to have $185 earned. So how do we get that? We have to take this one and add this one to it. So all this is saying is the interest at 2%, we'll call it A, and then interest at 3% has to equal 185. This is the first one, so it's X times 0.02 times 1. 7,000 minus X times 0.03 times 1. So that's A. This is B. It has to equal 185. So multiply these. So you have 0.02 times x times 1 is 0.02x. Actually, yeah. Remember how we dealt with fractions? If we had 1 over 5x plus 1/3, we got rid of the fractions, right? We could do the same thing with decimals. Since 0.02 and 0.03 both have two decimals we have to get rid of, if we multiply by 100, they become solid numbers. So I would multiply, I have to, if I'm going to change those, the entire equation by 100. Because I have two decimal places to get rid of. So 100 times 0.02 is 2x times 1. 100, since these are all multiplied, I just attach it to this one. 3 times 7,000 minus x times 1. 100 times this one, so it's 185 with 2 more zeros. So we can get rid of decimals the same way we get rid of fractions. Get rid of the parentheses next. 3 times 7 is 21 with 3 zeros, minus 3x equals 185, 0. Get rid of parentheses, combine like terms. 2x minus 3x, 3 is bigger than 2, so it's negative. 3 minus 2 is 1, so it's negative x. Plus 21,000 equals 18,500. We're trying to solve for x. So we get rid of the 21,000. We have negative x. 21 is bigger than 18, so it's negative. 21,000 minus 18,500 is 2,500. Negative. Change the signs. So x is equal to $2,500. So the question is, where did we invest $2,500? Let's go back up here. There's x. So x is 2,500 at 2%. So we did $2,500 at 2%. So how much should we do at 3%? Well, 7,000 minus 2,500 equals 4,500. So we invested 4,500 at 3%. This is what they were looking for. All right, let's look at number 7. That pretty much does it for the word problems so far. Question number 7. Find the zero, or zeros, if there's more than one, of this function 3 over 4x minus 9. Now, we have to decide, what do they mean by find the zero? Zero is the x value that makes the y value equals 0. So 0 is the x value. It's a number. It's a single number that makes the equation, the y value, equals 0. It sounds a lot like the x-intercept. Remember, for the x-intercept, our first step was set y equal to 0, which is what that's dealing with. And then we solve for x. Again, these are the x values to make it 0. The difference is the 0 is a number. The x-intercept is a point. It's a location. Right? So let's look at our example here. The first thing to do is set the function equal to 0, because remember, this is the y value. 3 over 4x minus 9. Fractions and equal sign, doesn't matter what. Let's do the same stuff. Find the LCD. 4 is the only one, so it's 4. Multiply the LCD. 4 times 0 equals 4 times 3 over 4x minus 4 times 9. Reduce. 4 and the 4 cancel. So we have 4 times 0, 1 times 3x, 4 times 9. Multiply to get rid of the parentheses. 4 times 0 is 0. 1 times 3 is 3x. 4 times 9 is 36. We're solving for x. Add 36 to both sides, because there's a negative in front of that one. So those cancel. 0 plus 36 is 36, equals 3x. Get the x by itself, divide by 3. So x, 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 6 twice. So x equals 12. So the 0 of this function is x equals 12, or just 12. The x-intercept is the point 12, 0. And number 8. I'll give you a graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. And the graph crosses that graph. So what's the 0 and what's the x-intercept? There's 0. 0 is at 3. The x-intercept is at that point, the y value is 0 and x is 3. Now, a flash from the past. Tell me the equation of this graph. We know the y-intercept, so it's -3. What's the slope? Up 1, 2, 3. Over 3 over 3 is 1. So the equation of this line is x minus 3. Alright, so we'll leave it there, and I will do section 1.6 on a different graph. Alright, good luck.